recording all of the above and some of the below. Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Winter and welcome to Skyrim on PinBall FX3. This is part of the Bethesda Table pack, which also included a table for Doom, right there, and also had a table for Fallout. But today we focus on Skyrim. That's what I just said. You didn't have to say it over me, asshole. We're going to be trying the rewind on this particular playthrough. Those are my upgrades that I'm using. If you've never played this game before, I highly recommend that you do. And hopefully there's something here that you're going to see that will encourage you to check it out on your own. It's fucking worth it. Zen Studios always does an amazing job with their tables. Some are more fun for me personally to play than others, but as a whole, Skyrim is one of my favorites. And it was, I think, the first table that I actually mastered on the game and unlocked every upgrade and, you know, got the trophy for, completed all the challenges, all that shit. And those are new features for PinBall FX3. It was Zen Pinball 2, and then it recently changed to PinBall FX3 and it came with those features, which I welcome. I think they're a lot of fun. And they kind of give new life to old tables for me. I believe the Bethesda Table pack came out before it was called PinBall FX3, but I could be wrong on that. I don't recall. I know it had been out for a while before I got it. And I like this table. We're going to be going all over this fucking thing. We're going to be hitting every single ramp. This is a New Game Plus. I think my 5th New Game Plus. And what we're going to do in this video is go through all the story modes and kind of show that off. Because I don't think a lot of people have actually seen all the story quests. And I don't think a lot of people have actually seen New Game Plus. So, you know, twofold reasons for that. And there's a few differences between a New Game Plus game and just a regular vanilla game, if you will. You know, freshly starting out. So there's our character. As this is New Game Plus, I've pretty much got the best of the best when it comes to the equipment.
Skill shot.
That's a good way to start. I haven't actually seen this footage since I recorded it, which, as I'm doing the vocals, is, you know, a couple of weeks ago. This is a director's DVD style commentary. You know, I'm watching the game footage as I'm recording vocals instead of actually playing the game while doing vocals.
What in oblivion is that?
And this is a first for me in terms of doing a video that way.
Try to avoid his flames.
And the only reason why I'm doing it this way is I thought it would be something different for me, just kind of shake it up. You know, it's been a while since I've done anything such as this, as I'm recording this, and I just thought it'd be kind of cool to try something different. So there's our first quest failed. When I play this game, things either go really good or really bad.
Skill shot.
It kind of helps ease the pain of that embarrassment. So here's some side quests that we could do. Much like Skyrim itself, you can unlock side quests as you progress through the table. And I believe at the end of the video we're going to do a few of these, mainly for the bulk, you know, 95% of what you're watching is going to be the storyline quest. And me trying to get as far as I can through that. I really like this table though. This is one of my favorites for sure. I was actually playing this last night because as I'm recording this, this is one of the tables in the tournament mode.
What in oblivion is that? Dragon! Let's go, friend. Move! Try to avoid his flames.
I will do what I can about that. You know, I've said it before in other videos. I really don't give a shit about things like leaderboard positioning or having a higher score on certain games than other people. But for some reason, man, Pinball FX, I've got to be one of, I got to be up there. I give a shit on this game. And I have no idea why. It just brings out a competitiveness on me, or in me. And if you are a friend of mine on the PlayStation Network, and you've also got Pinball FX3,
Maybe we can reason with them. Hold on now.
yeah,
If they don't want to negotiate, so be it. Defeat them.
a little bit of combat. I love that. I love that they just pop up from underneath the table like that. I think that's cool as shit. But yeah, if you're a friend of mine on the network, because this is the PlayStation 4 version we're looking at, and you've got Pinball FX3, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have a higher score on you than on the tables that we share. I mean, it's going to happen. And I would love for Mr. Treble to get involved in that. I think I'd love to see what kind of competition we could get going on. I think it'd be a good one. RaiderDays.net, by the way.
Grab anything useful and let's go.
Or RaiderDays.com. I think it's .net, but it's probably .com because I think it's .net.
There he goes. Looks like he's gone for good this time. Defeat the foeman.
As this is New Game Plus, the enemies, such as what we just saw in the main storyline, are fairly weak for what my stats are. But out in the wild, which is where we're at now, it's a different story because the table levels up just like you do.
Skill increased.
Like right there, that's one way of leveling up. We've just increased a skill. And when you increase X amount of skills, then you level up your character and you can choose to level up, strength, health, not dexterity. Actually, it might be dexterity. I don't recall now. I think we see it later on, but I'm probably wrong on that.
Grab anything useful and let's go.
I'm all about loot that's not in a crate. You get some good stuff off of the enemies, especially out in the wild. And especially from the wraiths. Wraiths and mages seem to have the best loot. Okay, so these are people that assign the side quest. You find these inns by going up one of the lanes a certain amount of times. And then if you do that enough, and it'll open up an inn on that left ramp there. But you can only have X amount of side quests open at a time. Now see, earlier when I talked about being out in the wild, right now we're in a city. And as you go into cities, you can obviously go into a store like what we're in right now. And you can buy equipment, you can sell equipment, buy materials for crafting. I mean, this is, Skyrim on pinball. You do everything that you do in that game. And at this point, this being such a New Game Plus for me, whatever number it is, 4 or 5 or what the fuck ever, I don't really need anything. And I very rarely use things like magic potions anyways. I think I break one out here on this playthrough, but they're kind of a rarity for me. They're like a last resort. I'm a hoarder. So I loot everything I can off of enemies, and then I'll sell it for gold so that I can just hoard gold and one day exchange the gold for a massive amount of points and hopefully put me in the Billionaires Club on this table. Because I do pretty good on this table, but I've never done the Billionaires Club on it. I've only done that on one table actually, and that was Aliens vs. Predator. And that might have been... That was on one of the challenges, I believe. It was either the one ball challenge or the survival challenge. I don't remember. But that was a long game. I mean, that was like... Fucking hell. I mean, it was almost 2 hours of playing on that table just to get to the Billionaires Club. I don't know how long it would take to do it on this one. I mean, you look at the length of the video that you're watching right now. Spoiler alert, we don't make it to the Billionaires Club on this. So, you know, I mean, it can take a while. Oh. Can you hear my chair popping? I gotta get a new one, man.
Visit the watchtower.
When you're in the town, you can only go in the shop during daylight hours, which is one of the reasons for the inclusion of the inn, because you can rest in advance time, just like in the game, you know.
Time is running out.
But right now we're back in the wild.
Of use to help in the research into the dragons. Go find the Dragonstone and Bleak Falls Barrow.
And in the wild is where the random encounters appear randomly. And you can explore locations. The way that you travel around the world is the platform that our character is standing on and the platform that the house is sitting on. If you hit those, then you will travel between villages, ruins, you know, caves, shit like that. And I've got a horse, which took a lot of gold to get, and that really helps in terms of making the traveling faster, as they should. You know, that's why mankind invented horses.
Defeat the bandit!
Yeah, I still think that's so fucking cool how they just pop up from the bottom of the table like that. And I don't know how many other tables that Zen has utilize that. I haven't played every single one. I mean, as I'm recording this, there are 91 tables that you can get. And I only own maybe 31, 34, something like that, because a little bit after I recorded this playthrough, I purchased a couple of more Marvel tables, which I think there's enough of those. They don't need to make any more of those. Marvel and Star Wars, man, I don't need any more. I'm good. Either do more original tables or do more licensed video game tables like this, you know. Give me something for Tomb Raider. Give me something for Silent Hill, Metal Gear Solid. Konami's fucking greedy. You know they wouldn't turn down the licensing fee. But then again, it might be so high that you wouldn't actually have any budget to work with. But, you know, you never know. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. That's all I'm going to say. And Square Enix is kind of the same way, as far as I can tell anyways. No, I don't fucking know. I'm no expert and I claim nothing. I'm just bullshitting. But yeah, if you've never played it before, I mean, they've got this, the Fallout, the Doom table. They've got one for Telltale's Walking Dead series, which, you know, Telltale, as of this recording, is now folded and closed its doors, so I don't know if that's going to be available very much longer. Now, it'd be interesting to hear from Zen. I don't know if they've put out a statement, you know, saying that, yeah, we're going to keep selling this table or not. Has anybody heard anything? It's a good question. I'd like to know the answer, you know. And then they've also got one for Portal, which that table's a lot of fun too. And I've never played Portal, but I really enjoy that one. And that's got a storyline as well. The Fallout one kind of does. The big difference between this one, this table, and the Fallout table is, you know, on both you're going to level up your character and shit like that. And on Fallout you attribute special points and upgrade weapons and armor and fix broken armor and shit. But it doesn't save your progress when it's game over. On this table, if we lose all 3 balls, we can start a new game exactly where we left off in the story mission. And our character is still there, you know, as you saw from the beginning of the video. So that's fucking cool. And I don't know how many other ones do that.
Be careful with these too many-eyed creatures. Defeat the spider!
Oh, these fucking spiders, man. The first time I played this table, the spiders were the bane of my fucking existence. I don't know how long it took me to get past this first fucking spider. When I was real low level, you know. Obviously, not that big of a deal now. But, you know, when you're starting out, he's kind of tough. And the dragons are kind of tough, too. It's why normally when I play, I go with the score boost superpower and not the rewind. I chose the rewind for this playthrough just so that we could get through as much of the story as we could on 3 balls. Right there, I like to cradle the balls and try and aim my shot. It's easier for me to aim when they're kind of cradled like that, as opposed to just running wild like it was right there. And that's probably the only time you'll ever hear me say I like to cradle the balls. But some of the shots, you know, I like to take my time, not rush through it. Because I find that when I just rush through it and try to play, you know, blitzkrieg style or whatever the fuck you want to call it, it's game over a lot faster. Not all the time. I mean, like I said, you know, when I play these tables, things either go really good or really bad. You know, every once in a while I'll have a game that was like, it was okay. But for me, I'm not happy.
The Warlord carries the Dragonstone. Defeat him. Defeat the Draugr.
I'm not happy with any playthrough on any table if I don't score at least, you know, 100 million points. So if I get like 89 million points, that's not a good game for me.
The Dragonstone of Bleak Falls Barrow. Seems you are a cut above the usual brutes the Jarl sends my way.
Why, yes, I am. Thank you for noticing.
Grab anything useful, and let's go.
Okay, will do. I like the physics on this table as well. The weight of the ball is it's pretty good. You know, sometimes on these tables the balls feel heavy and kind of move sluggish and slow, or move really fast. They move really fast when they're heavy. They move sluggish and slow when the balls are light. And there's not really much consistency from table to table. They've got a little bit better about that. You know. Oh.
A dragon approaches.
Oh, here we go.
For battle, Dragonborn. Defeat the dragon.
Okay, so what they want you to do is to shoot into the tower right there and equip a bow and arrow. Which I agree with. I think that's a good strategy when you're low level, but I really don't like the bow and arrow, so I don't give a shit. You know, I fight everything melee. Well, melee weapon. I don't use my fists or anything like that. What's kind of funny about this is, you know, this is the second character I've ever made for this table. And the first one was just a barbarian. And on that playthrough, I ended up using more magic than melee weapons. So I said, okay, if I'm going to play this again, I'm going to make a character that is excellent in using magic and is great at it and really strong with it, you know.
An extra ball is lit, Dovahkiin.
And I read that these cat people were. So that's why I went with him. And then for some reason, once I started playing as the cat person, I never fucking used magic. You know, it was very rare for me. I've got every single magic spell that you can get on this table, I think. And I've only used maybe the healing one. And that's it. Everything else has been melee weapons, so that's kind of funny how that worked out. I have no idea why it ended up being that way. It just kind of happened.
Grab anything useful, and let's go.
But, you know, we're using the Dragonbone Warhammer and Dragon Plate armor, which you only get the dragon scales and the dragon bones by actually defeating the dragons, which is what you saw me pick up there. And you need 10 of each to craft one dragon armor or weapon, except for the arrows. You can get dragon bone arrows, as I recall. I think we make those later on too, when I'm kind of showing off the crafting towards the end of the video, as I recall. Again, it's been a while, probably wrong, but I think you'll see that later on. Just not a bow and arrow person though.
You got an extra ball.
Yay! We did good. We did the thing.
Dragonborn multi-ball.
Here comes chaos. I love multi-ball mode, man. especially on the tables where you can get like 5 of them going at the same time. I mean, look at those fucking jackpots, and that's one of the bonus attributes that I've got selected is multi-ball, you know, score boost, because that's a really good way to rack up the points on these tables. And I like that it's, you know, you trigger multi-ball differently on every table, obviously, and on some of them it's so fucking hard to get multi-ball triggered that it really feels like a reward once you get into that mode. You feel like you've earned it, and all the high points that come with it. Yeah. Especially on, currently I've been spending a lot of time with the safe cracker table. And multi-ball on that is very satisfying, you know, because you've actually got to clear the vault on that to get multi-ball going, unless you want to use one of your tokens, which I don't. I'm saving those for the trophy. There we go. Oh, almost made it. Okay, that's pretty good. See, if you get all the little jackpots, then you can get the big jackpot. And that's always special for me when that happens. There we are. There it is. See, that should have fucking... Why didn't that happen a minute ago when that other ball was in there? And this is not a perfect game, you know, PinBall FX3. There's some flaws with it, as much as I love it and think it's great. I mean, sometimes the ball will curve out of fucking nowhere when it's coming down to your flippers and just put you right in the gap where you can't, you know, there's no rescuing.
Visit the watchtower.
And I think that happens a couple times in this playthrough as well. I remember that. I'm glad I got that recorded, because there's some people that have never seen that. At least that's what I gather from talking to some people that have played this. But again, I don't really know many people in the real world, you know, that have played this, which is a shame, because, man, this is good shit. This is old school, you know. On this table, we're going through a storyline, but it's not really, you know, pinball's kind of back to basics.
If you really are Dragonborn, the Greybeards can teach you how to use your gift. The Thuum, or Shout. Go. Find them in the High Hrothgar.
You know, it's all about getting the points and just having fun with it. And I have fun with this, and I like getting the points on this. So this is, you know, right up my alley. Not every game has to be a fucking masterpiece in storytelling or a piece of art. It's okay to have games that are just fun. And PinBall FX3, for me, is a lot of fun. And I especially like, you know, right now Zen is putting out the Williams and Bally pinball tables. They recently acquired the license for that, and I think they've got 4 table packs out now as I'm recording this. But I really like their original ones, like Skyrim. I mean, it's not wholly original, because obviously it's a licensed property. But I like it when they're just kind of doing their own thing, and they're not, you know, going off of a pre-existing table. It's a very creative studio. A lot of very talented and creative people that work there. And it's a studio, in my opinion, that I think deserves a no-clip documentary.
Now let us see if you truly have the gift. Now, let us see how quickly you can master your new Thuum.
But, you know, that's probably not going to happen, because it's such a... It's a cult game, you know. It's a bit like, oh, what's that game where the dude could read the future by looking into the fucking coffee cup? It's like that game. Deadly Premonition. You know, the people that play it, they really fucking enjoy it, and they really love it. And it's like, it's a huge thing for them. I mean, I have friends on the network that only play this game. That's all they fucking play. It's almost as if they bought their PlayStation just so they could fucking play pinball. You know, because this was also out on the PlayStation 3, and that was my first exposure to it.
Impressive. Your Thuum is precise. You show great promise, Dragonborn.
You'll find I'm full of surprises. But as a cult following, you know, it's not setting sales records like Fallout 4 did. And oh,
Defeat the Wraith.
yeah, these guys. I like how their color contrasts against the table. They're, you know, the blue and the white stands out against the muddy brown and the stone gray. I don't know why. Them and the mages, I always enjoy it when they pop up just because of their color. And blue's not really my favorite color, so I don't know what the fuck's going on with that. That's probably something I gotta talk to a shrink
Dragons were
about.
dead for centuries. Now they're coming back to life. We need you to help us stop it. The Dragonstone is a map of ancient dragon burial sites. The one near Kynes Grove is next if the pattern holds, so we must go there.
Yeah, sometimes they get a bit heavy with the dialogue. You know, sometimes you'll finish a story mode before the dude is done even, you know, before he's done talking to you, telling you what you gotta do and why you gotta do it. You know, giving you the old exposition. And what I didn't realize before I actually did this recording attempt was, you know, if you get a ball out and then hit the rewind, like I've done a few times, if they're talking when the ball goes out and when you hit the rewind, when you're done with the rewind, the vocals don't come back sometimes. So that's a little strange, and it probably ruins some of the experience that you guys are going to have watching this. But hey, just encourage you to hopefully pick it up on your own. It's worth it. I mean, for fuck's sake, it's like $9 in American money, you know, US. Well worth it. I mean, I don't know how many hours of entertainment I've gotten from that table pack. Because not only do I enjoy the Skyrim table, but the Doom one and the Fallout one are also satisfying as well. Though, you know, I do play the Doom and Skyrim much more than I do Fallout. Which is a little odd because, like I said, I never finished Skyrim, couldn't get into it. And I couldn't get into Doom 2016 either, which is what that table is based off of. Even though it looked fucking cool. I'm not a first-person shooter guy. Fallout 4 was a rarity for me because I really enjoyed that. You know, in terms of the first-person shooter aspect of it. Well, the RPG aspect of it too. I'm really not much of an RPG guy. I'm very particular about those. The only one I've really been able to get into besides Fallout 4 was...
Prepare for battle, Dragonborn. A dragon. It's attacking. Defeat the dragon.
Jesus Christ, how many times are you going to tell me that?
Hear my voice and despair.
Yeah, Fallout 4 and Final Fantasy 12. Those are the only RPGs I can really get into. Well, and Tomb Raider 2013. That was a good RPG as well. Did that piss anybody off? I still want a Tomb Raider table for this. I think Tomb Raider and Silent Hill, those are the two table packs that I would just buy the shit out of.
Your voice is no match for mine.
You know, there's so many different settings in the Tomb Raider games. Plus, you've got, you know, the PS1 generation with those voice actors and those styles of games, and then you've got, you know, Legend, Anniversary, Underworld, the Lara Croft and the Temple of, and Guardian of, you know, games. And then the real story-heavy Tomb Raider 2013 all the way through Shadow of. Those would be great games to adapt for pinball, I would think. Like I said, I would play them. You could totally ignore those fucking movies and I wouldn't care. And Silent Hill, well, it'd just be cool to see something for Silent Hill coming out on consoles again. I missed that series. Yeah, so pretty good on the points on that one. We got a pretty good lifespan out of that ball. I mean, keep in mind, this is still our first round. I think that was our second ball. And then this is the extra ball, so now we've got a total of 2 more balls to play, counting this one. Not bad. So, there's the curve. Did you see that? Rewind to that shit. That shit, like, really pisses me off sometimes. That's gotta be intentional. You know? I don't see how something like that can happen without intention.
Dragons were dead for centuries. Now they're coming back to life. We need you to help us stop it. The Dragonstone is a map of ancient dragon burial sites. The one near Kynes Grove is next if the pattern holds, so we must go there.
Oh, wait, so we're doing this again? Did I miss that? Did we fail this mission? Oh, we did. Cool. Alright, that works. Yeah, like I said, I haven't watched it since I recorded it, so...
Dragon approaches. Prepare for battle, Dragonborn. A dragon. It's attacking. Defeat the dragon.
I am Solakaneer. Hear my voice and despair.
I like the dragon fights. I think they're cool. I guess if you've never played it before, I should... see right there, I'm just waiting for him to come down onto the table. And I'm getting a little nervous, so I'm digging into the bag of tricks. Probably because I think this is the last ball. So I believe I'm going to go for a healing potion and maybe a weapon damage boost potion. Whatever the fuck you want to call that, or whatever it's called. I don't recall. I can't read that text right now. It's too small on my monitor. I'm sitting too far away from the screen. Ill prepared as always for these sessions. But yeah, since I don't use the bow and arrow, I just wait for them to come down to the table. Because when he lands on the table, he's going to scream, and then like a second after he screams, he'll be available for damage. Yeah, so like when he was screaming right then, if we'd have hit him, it wouldn't have done anything. But now he's fair game. So his ass is mine.
Dolakin, your voice is no match for mine.
I guess I should talk about the bars, in case you've never played this. You'll see there in the bottom center of the table, there's a yellow bar right now, and a little turquoise / sky blue bar. The yellow bar is, I want to say, I don't know if you necessarily call it stamina, but I know when it's fully charged, your attacks will do more damage. And the blue bar is our skill and level progression. When that's a full bar, we get to level up our character. And, you know, select between leveling up life, carrying capacity, and shit like that. Now, on the left, the red is our health. The one underneath that is our magic. And then one under that is stamina.
I'll be damned. You did it. That was well done. But we must find out who's behind all this.
Or how many bars are there? Are there 3 on the left or 2 on the left?
Let's go.
Fucking hell, this, I gotta start sitting closer to the monitor. But yeah, plenty of magic. Checking out what we got. I get wrapped up into this game, man. This is one where I can sit down with the intention of playing it for like, 15, 20 minutes or something like that, and then I'll look at the clock and fucking 3 hours will have passed. And I know I'm not alone on that. I've seen...
Now we have to reach the Sky Haven Temple. That is, it turned out where Alduin's wall is. The ancient blades recorded all they knew of Alduin and his return. It will tell us how to defeat Alduin. But There's no guarantee, of course.
Man, nothing's free in Waterworld. I do actually try to get multi-ball going as often as I can when I'm doing the story missions, just because it's really helpful. And, you know, as I don't think I really have to explain why, but it is, and I'm not always able to do it. I think this is one of maybe 2 missions where it starts out on multi-ball for you. This could be the only one, but it's super effective. But yeah, I remember, you know, I've watched Crow Pinball, and I'll check him out every now and again, and I saw him get lost on the solo Star Wars table, you know, for that movie, which I actually enjoyed, by the way. It was a good fucking movie. It was a lot of fun to watch. So what if it, you know...
Yes. Definitely early Akaveri stonework here. Let's find the entrance.
You know, when it comes to that movie, I mean, just like a game, sometimes I'm cool with it just being fun.
Entrance. After you, Dragonborn. You
What?
should have the honor of being the first to set foot in Skyhaven Temple.
Yeah, a lot of talking. From the table, as well as me. Yep, my aiming's gone to shit. There we go, that's pretty good. Let's see, we've got to go up these lit lanes more than once to clear them. But Crow Pinball, you know, obviously with Pinball being in his channel name, I recommend him if you're really into pinball games, because
Alduin's Wall, so well preserved. And this is the Akaveri symbol for shout, which means they used a shout to defeat Alduin. The Greybeards might know something about this.
like Gandalf the Greybeard. No, but Crow's awesome. Check him out. He doesn't just... See, there's that fucking curve again. Christ, that thing pisses me off. It's annoying, you know? And it just feels cheap. Because it doesn't just happen on this table. I've seen it happen on maybe 75% of the tables that I own. Which, again, as of this recording, I think I only owned 31... something like that. So it's a pretty good average, but still, it exists, and I don't see how or why. You know? The only why I can come up with for it is because they're trying to fuck you over, or just literally throw a curve at you when you're on a good game.
Revisit the Greybeards, Dragonborn. They might teach you the Dragon Wren shout that will bring Alduin down from the sky. Sadly, they don't know this shout. But Parthenax, the leader of the Order, can answer that question, if he so chooses.
Tremulok. Greetings, Wonderneek.
Okay, I thought he was going to be talking some more.
I am Parthenax. I cannot teach you Dragon Rend, but the ancient Nords can, who created it. You can meet them if you find the Elder Scroll and cast yourself back to them.
Yep, and he did. He just waited a minute. When I play this game, I don't really pay attention to my score until the end of the game. I'm more focused on watching the ball and paying attention to the flippers. And when I'm aiming my shots...
Winterhold, the lore keeper might know the whereabouts of the Elder Scroll.
When I'm aiming my shots, I actually pay more attention to the position of the ball on the flippers as opposed to where it's going to be going. Which is kind of why my aiming gets pretty wonky sometimes. But that's what works best for me.
Defeat the Draugr!
But since I don't pay attention to the score that much when I'm actually playing, whenever a notification pops up like it just did on the right hand side of the screen a little bit ago, that surprises the shit out of me. I'm never really prepared for that. And then I'm like, oh my god, what's about to happen? You know? Because while I aim to get a high score every time I play a table, it's easier for me to just focus on the ball. Because if I start, you know, worrying about what my score
It's
is,
locked. See if you can get it open with a lockpick.
then I do shit. I play terrible. It's just
Grab anything useful and let's go.
something to distract me and take away the focus of the ball in play. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense?
Grab anything useful and let's go.
Yeah, almost there. Yeah, I'm getting caught up in this, man. I'm watching it and I'm like, yeah, good game. You know? Except for that. That was pretty fucking bad. But it happens. So, not really anything I can do about it. Pretty good score, though. Pretty good score. And this is where it's, you know, hard to sound like I'm not bragging, because right now I think this is the best score that I'd ever gotten on this table. And I'm pretty thrilled that it, you know, I'm pretty happy that it got recorded. Not so I can watch it back and go like, I'm so fucking good, you know, I'm the best, I pwn everybody. No, nothing like that. It's just, it's a hell of an achievement for me. Again, this is one of those games where I take that shit pretty seriously.
Dragonborn. It is our only hope to defeat Alduin. The Elder Scroll is not here, Dragonborn. Keep searching.
This is the mission that I absolutely detest the most.
Dragonborn multi-ball.
But with chaos like this, it gets a little bit easier. And I'm not really sure why I don't like this mission the most. Something about it. I can't explain it. I can't put my finger on it. But the multi-ball helps. Oh my god. Yeah. Enemies, quests, multi-ball, it's all going to shit, man. It's all chaos. You know? But see, enemies are much easier to deal with when there's more than one ball to hit them with.
Let's get back to
Ah, there's another one. I like those guys. I like how they look like Pyramid Head. That, you know, that's probably the closest we'll get to a Silent Hill anything on PinBall FX. At least that's what he reminds me of. It does actually make me want to see what they're like in the actual Skyrim, you know, game, and see how strong that similarity is. And I wouldn't mind a second table pack for Bethesda games, you know? I mean, Doom Eternal is going to be coming out here in a couple of months as of this recording. Fallout 76 released a few months ago, and you know that, you know, the Elder Scrolls 6 is coming.
Let's go.
And that Starfield or whatever the fuck it is. So yeah, I wouldn't mind another table pack from them. I think they should do it. They being Zen, you know, pronouns and shit. I'd check it out for sure. Of course, I also wouldn't mind another Spider-Man table. Nothing based off of the movies, though. Like, stick to the comic books just like they did the first ones.
The kill, the Elder Scroll. Time shudders at its touch. There is no question. You are doom-driven. Go then. Fulfill your destiny.
It's good sound design on this table too, and I don't know how many of these sound effects are from Skyrim and how many are ones that, you know, Zen had to come up with themselves, but I like the sound design on it. You know, if you've been with the channel for a while, God bless you, first off. But second off, you know that sound design is something I'm a really big fan of. And I'm not really sure why. There's something about it has always fascinated me. Oh, that's no good. Is that the last one? I think that may be the last one. Decent score bonuses, though.
You failed to fulfill your destiny.
I know. Yep, that was it. That's the last one. But goddamn, look at that score. So, as I'm typing in my initials, I'm thinking, man, that was fucking something. And then this pops up, and I'm like, holy fucking shit. You know, my mind is blown, because, I mean, that's the best game I've ever played points-wise, you know, ever. So, I'm pretty fucking stoked. And I'm anxious to start again to see if we can do just as good, if not better. And here we go.
Shall we continue the adventure, Dragonborn?
Absolutely.
Skill shot.
Off to a good start with a skill shot on the first ball. And there's not many storyline quests left to do. I think maybe 2 or 3 of them, and that's it. And then that'll be it. And then, like I said, after that, we're going to check out some side quests. But I'm not really, you know, there's not going to be really a whole lot for me to say once the side quests start going. Because if you've been watching...
You have it. The kill.
If you've been watching this far, you've pretty much seen all the side quests. Because it's like, you know, take out the enemy, shoot the ball up here, get this for such and such, defeat the troll, defeat the dragon, the fucking wraith, and all that shit.
Go then. Fulfill your destiny.
I think I will. Nay, I think I must. This one's always kind of tricky for me too, because the area that we're supposed to be going into with the flashing lane there, I'm either really good at hitting that spot or I'm not. And I do okay here. I think I definitely was doing pretty good on the last game, you know, that we just got done watching. But there are some games, man, where I'll get caught up on this mission for, you know, 7 or 8 attempts just because I can't get the fucking ball in there enough times to hit the required amount of bumpers. That's not bad, though. There we go. Multiplier. Ah. Yeah, I decided to stick with the rewind just because of how well it served us in the last game. But when I've been playing this on the tournament mode,
Use Dragon Rend if you know it.
A dragon approaches. Prepare for battle, Dragonborn.
My belly is filled with the souls of your fellow mortals, Novakeem.
and has anybody that has actually played Skyrim, can they tell me if that's actually direct dialogue from the game, or is that something that was written for the table?
Yours up through.
Pretty sure that probably came from the game. Maybe not that vocal performance, but at least that line of dialogue, you know. And you know, I look at this and I'm watching this and I just cannot help but think how much of a challenge it must be to actually create this shit. You know, I mean, I've never built a pinball table machine in my life, but I'm sure it's not easy. And it's probably a little bit more challenging when you're doing it digitally, because you've got to think how the real world thing would function. At least that's what I'm assuming. I'm probably wrong on that. You know, this is just me guessing and speculating. But it can't fucking be easy, and that's why I think they're such a talented group of people.
The Kell, the Elder Scroll. Time shudders at its touch. There is no question. You are doom-driven. Go then. Fulfill your destiny.
Oh, that was close. I can't imagine having to work on one of these things, though. It's got to be... Well, first off, it has to be fun. But second off, yeah, you think about the challenge, and my God, I mean, that's very creative studio. Very innovative. And they don't just do pinball tables. That's what I like about them as well. Like they, a few months ago, just released, I think, Oceania or Operencia, something like that. And I haven't played it, but it looks like an RPG, and it's not pinball. So, I mean, they don't just stick to pinball. Oh, here we are. That'll work. Or not. Yeah, there we go.
Use Dragon Rend if you know it.
A dragon approaches. Prepare for battle, Dragonborn.
Yeah, I know. I know when the dragon approaches, I've got to prepare.
Fellow mortals overcame.
And see, the multi-ball goes away right when I need it the most. Because I probably could have made, you know, every single shot up that ramp that I needed to in like a second. But hey, that happens. Almost. Alright, there we go. That's the one. Yes.
Strike with all your force. My belly is full of the souls of your fellow mortals, Overkeen. You may have picked up the weapons of my ancient foe, but you are not their Please move, Overkeen. You have become strong, but I am all-doing, firstborn of Akatosh, Mulaki, Zotlot. I cannot be slain here by you or anyone else. You...
Well, that got him to stop talking at least. I was trying to actually start the next story mission while he was still going. See if we could cut off his vocals that way. But we got through that one, so that's cool.
Find out where Alduin went, Dovahkiin.
Yes, one of his allies could tell us, but it will not be easy to convince one of them to betray him. Perhaps the palace in Whiterun, Dragon's Reach. It was originally built to house a captive Dova. A fine place to trap one of Alduin's allies. There is one who I remember well.
Odaving.
He's the one to tell us where Alduin has gone. He will not resist the challenge of your voice, Dovahkiin. He will come. Now, hear his name. Odaving. Taste it on the wind. Odaving. Know it in your suum. Odaving, Dovahkiin. Here I am, Dovahkiin. the king. Here I am.
He's just gonna say that over and over again. But I'm not sure I caught his name. What was it?
Of a dova, but without the wings of one. You'll never set foot in Skull Dolphin. Of course, I could fly you there, but not while imprisoned like this.
Now, I intentionally let the audio go on as long for that one as I did without doing anything, just because I always think it's funny whenever he says, I can't stay shackled like this after he's been free for 5 minutes. You know, that cracks me up.
Skill increased.
There's a random encounter. We've had quite a few of those, though. Not necessarily on this game, but the first game that we watched. Was that a curve again? Oh, god damn, that was close. It actually had me nervous for a second.
Visit the watchtower.
No, I don't want to. I can go up that fucking watchtower like thousands of times until there's actually a hurry up on it. And then I can't fucking hit it. It's so bizarre how shit works out on this. And you notice I'm not bumping the table a lot.
Are you ready to see the world as only a Dova can? I warn you, once you've flown the skies of Isal, your envy of the Dove will only increase.
Throw down.
Yeah, I'm not so good with the table bumping. You know, some people can really control that and make it work to their advantage.
Let's go.
And I can't. I mean, I can save my bacon with it, don't get me wrong, but I can't use it to help pull off trick shots or nothing like that. Like I said, I'm not the best PinBall FX3 player, but man, I enjoy the shit out of it. So if there's one thing you take away from this episode, this video, it's that I fucking enjoy PinBall FX3. Table depending. I can't stand the blade table, you know, for the Marvel character. That table's fucking terrible, man. I just don't know what the fuck's going on with it. These things are so hard to figure out sometimes. Some of these tables, you know, I can pick up and play and kind of work out, you know, where you're supposed to shoot the ball and whatnot and what's going on with them. And then other ones take a long time for me to figure out, and I will eventually resort to the table guide, which you can get on the main menu, which kind of, you know, explains what you're supposed to do on the tables, where you make certain shots and shit like that. I try to avoid that as much as I can, but sometimes I gotta do it, and I had to do it on the blade table. And even after kind of going through that on that table, I still don't know what the fuck to do on it, man. I hate that table. That is no fun to play for me. A good pinball table for me.
This is as far as I can take you. Grifoth Aquin.
For Skyrim. For Shore. For Sovngarde's freedom. Defeat Alduin.
Final battle. That caught me by surprise. Shit, I thought we had a couple more to go. But yeah, a good table for me has a pretty good selection of ramps. You know, pretty good ramp positioning. Nice bumper positioning, easy to access and whatnot. That really freaked me out, like, because I honestly didn't know if that ball save was still going to be active. I saw the ball heading down there, you know, because you kind of learn the trajectory after a while, and I knew where it was going. There's me trying to bump it and save it.
Failed to fulfill your destiny.
Couldn't fucking do it. So, we're going again. And that's a pretty shit score for me, too. I'm not happy with that score. Yeah, but a good table for me has plenty of ramps. You know, the bumpers are easy to get to. And there's no real obstruction in the middle of the table. Like if you play the Venom table There's a pretty big obstruction in the middle of that.
Adventure, Dragon Lord.
Yeah, let's fucking do it. We only got one more adventure to go on, so let's do it. But I like a nice open table, you know, and this is fairly open for me.
Are you ready to see the world as only a Dover can? I warn you, once you've flown the skies of Kisal, your envy of the Dove will only increase.
I'm trying to keep at least 2 of these balls active at the same time. I'm wanting to, I guess I should say, have 2 of them active at the same time when we get to fight Alduin again. So that I can show off, you know, how the battles go when you've got more than one ball hitting them. Because I don't think we've seen that yet. But, you know, all for naught. Could have used the rewind to bring a couple of them back, but I figured, fuck it.
This is as far as I can take you. Griffoth Akrin. I will look for your return. Or Alduin's.
For Skyrim, for shore, for Sovngarde's freedom, defeat Alduin.
Okay, here we go. One more shot. One more time around. Might make it.
You are persistent, Dovahkiin. A fine slave you would have made.
I guess I've gone this whole time without mentioning that one of the ways you can heal in battle is by hitting the bumpers. And I can't believe I haven't mentioned that before. But that's one way you can do it without potions. I've got a necklace that restores our health. As I recall. I've got that equipped. I know I have it in the inventory. Let's see, I always try to heal whenever... You know, I wait till the dragons are actually on the table. And I'll just try to heal myself as much as I can while they're up top, you know, spitting fire at me. That's kind of my part of my strategy for dragons. But I don't want to ball out again. I want to finish this fucking story mission, so I'm digging into the bag of tricks again. And we're going to get some shit to help us get through this. Yep, that'll do. Might as well. Here we go. I like that little playing field up there too, where the ball just was, where he shot the fire. I think that's cool. I don't mind those on a table either. Some are better than others though, like on the shaman table. Not too fond of that one. Oh, yeah. That was close.
This was a mighty deed. The doom of Alduin encompassed at last, and cleansed his Sovngarde of his evil snare. They will sing of this battle in Shore's Hall forever.
Well, they fucking better. And there we go. That's the end of the storyline campaign on the Skyrim table. And now I'm just kind of shooting around, having some fun, and
You got an extra ball.
getting an extra ball. And now we're going to do some side quest. Which there's not really a lot for me to say about the side quest, because like I said, if you've been watching the whole video, you've pretty much seen how they go. So I think I'm going to go ahead and tuck out of here and just let the video finish itself up, because I've got nothing left to say. Yeah, I think I've covered everything I want to cover. Again, this has been the PlayStation 4 version. Everybody gets this fucking thing. You know, it's on your smartphone, it's on your tablet, it's on Xbox, it's on PC. I mean, for fuck's sake, everybody's got it.
And let's go.
And I really think you know, it's an underrated game by an underrated studio. And I dig it. I hope you've enjoyed it too, and I hope if you've never played it before, you're curious about it and you check it out yourself and, you know, support the studio. There we go. That was a good roundabout. Huh. Yeah, I say I'm leaving, then I'm getting caught up watching it still.
Defeat the troll. Defeat the mage.
Yeah, troll and a mage. So here's a pretty good fight. Because like I said, the game levels up as you do, so these guys are pretty tough. And they hit pretty fucking hard. But the troll ain't got shit on me. The mage, on the other hand, that's a different story altogether.
Visit the watchtower.
I had to beat him to death with his own shoes. Just like that.
Anything useful, and let's go.
But yeah, it's good stuff. And you know, this isn't the only pinball game that you can get for the PlayStation 4 and all those other consoles as well. There's one called Rollers of the Realm, which is actually a pinball RPG.
Let's go.
And you use the ball to actually traverse a full-on map. You're not on a table. Well, you're on a table, but it's more of a map than a table. It's kind of hard to explain, but check it out. You can get a demo for it. It's fun. It's not something that really caught my attention wholeheartedly. Like, if I were to buy it, I'd probably only play it once and then never touch it again. But the demo was fun, so I don't know. It's one of those games for me. But Rollers of the Realm, check that out. And there's another one, too, that I can't think of the name of, where you're like a bird or a pig or something like that. I haven't played it. I've only seen an advert for it. But, you know, you got plenty of tables to choose from on PinBall FX3. And then there's also Pinball Arcade. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about that. I've never played that one, but that's more traditional pinball. You know, some people call this being, you know, the Zen Pinball, video game pinball, because of all the animations, and, you know, you can see the character up there on the left and shit like that. And some people don't really like it because of that. They're more purist, I guess you could say, because they like just the Pinball Arcade, because it's a one-to-one recreation of existing pinball tables, and it's just straight up pinball, you know. I've never played it, nothing against it. I'm happy with PinBall FX3 so far. So, and you know, if people prefer that over this, you know, that's fine. I don't think you need to berate people because they enjoy PinBall FX3. I think you can enjoy both, and one person can enjoy one or the other, and the other person doesn't need to give that person shit over their preference, but that's the way of the world, you know, especially nowadays. But anyways, I've kind of ranted. There's your options for some good pinball action on the PlayStation or whatever the fuck your console is. I think Pinball Arcade you can get on everything too. And as I understand it, Zen Studios also has actual physical disc versions of their tables. I know for a fact that there's one for the first batch of Marvel tables that they created, which is called Marvel Pinball Legends Epic Pack or something like that. That's pretty common. I've seen that in a lot of stores, and it costs you like 25 bucks. The only downfall with that is you can get the digital versions for the same cost off of the network, and you can get it that has, you know, the score boost and the slow motion, all the superpowers. The disc version is the Zen Pinball 2 versions, which is just kind of vanilla nowadays because it doesn't have the superpowers and the challenge modes and all that shit. And I believe they have another physical disc collection out as well, though I can't confirm that. If anybody could, that would be awesome. And I know that Pinball Arcade has a few physical discs out as well. I want to say 2 or 3. I've seen those, but I haven't picked them up. Just because when I saw them, I wasn't playing pinball as much as I am nowadays. This was a few months ago when I was kind of out of the scene, if you will. I wish I'd picked them up now. But, you know, that shit happens. But at any rate, I'm going to sign off. Thank you for watching Pinball FX3 Skyrim. You've been great. I've been Winter. And I'll see you on the next one. Everybody take care out there.
Skill increased. A new side quest is available. Visit the watchtower. Defeat the bandit! Grab anything useful, and let's go. Defeat the Wraith! Skill increased. Grab anything useful, and let's go. Skill increased. Skill increased. Level up. Skill increased. Skill increased. skill shot. Try again in your next life.
Single player results. Single player and hot seat. Mastery rewards.